small and medium enterprises are all set to take the center stage of the Indian economy, contributing significantly to the GDP of the country. The India SME Forum, in its effort to boost the potential of the sector and to foster the already flourishing entrepreneurial culture, launched the SME initiative, engaging 70,000 plus SMEs from all over India.
India SME Forum was born on 1st May 2011 to propel a movement for small and medium businesses. Our primary objective was to arm and nurture entrepreneurship, to support innovative and globally competitive SMEs, and to help entrepreneurs to take their business to the next level.
Secret of success for small and medium enterprises is one such initiative which provides a platform for the SMEs with the single most important goal of arming the SMEs of India with a vision to build strong, sustainable and successful enterprises. Interactive sessions covering a host of topics from acquiring finance to enterprise management and building a brand hope to provide the perfect environment and networking opportunities with experts and successful entrepreneurs, with the key objective of identifying, enabling and seeding innovative startups and recognizing, grooming and supporting promising SMEs. The Secret of Success initiative boasts of being a one-of-its-kind initiative in the country, thereby producing the finest and globally competitive SMEs in India.
A warm welcome to all of you. We said the SME Forum has 70,000 plus members, right? Now that would be 70,600 odd from the last number that I know. And as a researcher, as an investor, one thing that was of prime importance to me was to actually look at, if you have so many SMEs as members, what is the collective turnover of this group? We also have SMEs which are only at 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 30 lakhs turnover. But let me tell you, this group has a total turnover base last year of 1,23,000 crores. Now that's hats off to all of you. That is the strength of this group today. What are the issues that most of us look at when we talk about being able to create an enterprise that primarily has some basic issues to handle on a day-to-day basis? There's constantly something or the other happening. And in our hurry to, or in our day-to-day life, every day we spend time to try and figure out our life, try and figure out our day, try and figure out what is important to us and what is not. Dushyant, coming to you, we have this drive that Microsoft is currently on of empowering all SMEs across the country and putting them on cloud, getting them more and more access to space, all sorts of things. And in general, getting them a little more technologically oriented in order to help their business. Why is Microsoft so interested in SMEs in the first place?
This is a drive which is towards empowering the SMEs. Now, if you look at things, currently the SMEs, they're somewhere in between, where they do want to have systems and processes in place, but at the same time, when they want to do that, there is an initial investment or a huge capex investment which is required. Now, what was the right way in which we could go ahead and address the needs of all the SMEs? Okay. At the same time, it should not be too much of an investment for them. So that's where we came up with the cloud model, and I think that cloud model now addresses the needs. Now let's go back and look at what all we have as an offering for the SMEs. So we have something called as Office 365. That's a SaaS offering from Microsoft. And now what it typically does is it's a productivity suite. You require mailing, right? You require MS Office, which is Word, Excel, PowerPoint. These are the files which we maintain, do work with. And then we also do have a need of, communication, right? Multiple branches, speaking to or engaging with your customers who are at different locations, vendors, associates, partners, right? And then also we need to share the work and work together. So all this put together, you have something called as Office 365, which is there available at a very, very cheap price. You have other applications, line of business applications. You go and get those processes in place. Now, just to go and run it, you require, again, a huge infrastructure cost, right? Then you also need to run it, which is your maintenance cost, power cost, that's a running cost. Now, with Azure, Windows Azure, we have an infrastructure as a service and platform as a service offering on Windows Azure. You just have to pay a consumption rate. So pay as you use is the model. And you do not have any kind of liability associated with it. So tomorrow, if you need to scale down for whatever reason, you can just scale down. And maybe, next month, you have a big business coming in, you need to employ a lot of people. You can just scale up. It becomes very affordable.
Moving forward, the other very important thing is, at what point in time do you move to a model wherein you retain all the information, you start developing, maybe bring in enterprise mobility or all cloud computing and everything. I'd like to ask Arvind this. Why are they necessary for an SME?
I want to define what do I mean by an SME. There are different definitions of SME. SMEs have been defined by number of people, SMEs are defined by number of turnover, SMEs are defined in multiple definitions. I have not seen one solid definition of SME, but I am okay with that. There are three types of businesses wherein a small business owner involves in everything. He is into the decision making, he is into the execution. There is a medium avatar of business wherein owner involved in certain type of executions and he is involved in every decision he makes. And there is large enterprises, you have departments, line of business and so on and so forth. So what I will do is, I will stick on to the mid segment. Now let me talk about two growth tips. The first thing is, the most important thing today for a businessman to grow is his free time. Free time is not holiday time. There is a free time in your business as well. It is very important that you let go your business once in a while, maybe 15 days, maybe a month. Just sit back in your box of shorts and see what is that you are up to do in your business, what changes you need to make, what 1 degree changes you need to take on and how does it make. The second important thing is accounting. He was talking business is a baby. So just to take a point from there, yes, that baby talks to you. You should understand what the baby is talking, and I believe baby uses the language of accounting to talk to you, and if you don't understand, if you don't spare time to understand what the baby wants to talk to you in terms of accounting, then it might be of some risk to you. The second thing is vision and money. Vision is one thing which you should have, and don't worry about what is vision, but be very clear that once you set a vision, don't change for it, and your measure vision cannot be money. Point number 2, every vision should have a strategy. Strategy is not about what to do. Strategy is about what not to do in your business. The third point is systems and processes. We spoke about systems and processes. These are a very, very loosely used word, especially in an SME segment. How I see is both SME as well as India, both of them are in the phase of developing. If you say India is a developing nation, yes, it is a developing nation. And the beauty of this developing nation or a symptom of developing nation is in all your business processes, especially in the SME environment, you will have a great mix of rigidity and flexibility. You cannot be either rigid, you cannot be either flexible. The fourth point which he actually wanted me to talk about is technology. Technology for me has nothing to do with investment, it's an attitude. Your business is not about learning technology, but your business is about growth, and you should give everything which is required for your business to grow. And in today's world, if you are not giving the advantage of relevant technology for your business, then you will set yourself at a lower pace.
Shekhar sir, there's something important that I wanted to ask you. With respect to one of the most important problems that all of us have, we have, a company that we have given our products or services to, and they don't pay up. What do? We file cases, we go and sit in their offices, so they give us little money, and we keep on getting this money over the period of maybe 3-4 years, or not at all.
So there is a product called credit insurance, which is really for mainly for the trading aspects. When you make sales on credit basis, and the buyer fails to pay you in time, there is an insurance product called credit insurance. We at New India have a product called Business Credit Shield, which covers both exports and domestic sales also. But there are 2 or 3 major impediments why this product is not being sold like motor insurance or something like that. One is, what is the base on which the insurance companies can work out the turnover? Second is, the world over, the recoveries, the legal system is such, if a buyer fails to pay, the seller has got a right to simply file for an insolvency petition against the buyer. And those insolvency petitions are heard in most of the advanced countries within 6 months, and a decision is given. But I am told in India we have sick industries but no sick industrialists. Our legal process to declare a person, even if he voluntarily goes and says, I am insolvent, please brand me as an insolvent, will take not less than 15 years. Third and most important point is, we do not have a really dependable data source. Because the risk is not you who take insurance from me, but the risk is on the persons who have purchased from you. And that purchasers again follow different methods, different issues. The attraction of this product is that it sort of minimizes your borrowing cost. Of course, it has got conditions like any other insurance policy. But the main thing is that if you are given a 60 days credit period, and you don't get it till, we will give you a waiting period right in the beginning, depending on the nature of industry and the borrowers, the buyer's capacity and all. Suppose 60 days, we agree for another 60 days waiting period. So at the end of 120th day, if you have not received the money, the insurance company will give you whatever is the invoice you have raised, or 80% of that, because there is a 20% co-pay clause. So this, if you don't have this credit insurance, there is an uncertainty of how much money you got to borrow and for how long. Whereas when you have an insurance product, it is guaranteeing that if the buyer has not paid you within the credit period and further waiting period, we will certainly give you. And a major difference, again, another complaint which we receive normally is about the claims taking a lot of time post-event. In this product, everything is predetermined. So maybe maximum of a week or 15 days, where the surveyor will come and verify your invoices and bank statements and certify that is going to be a certain payment coming in. So the biggest advantage of going in this part is your borrowing cost will come down, your credit rating will improve, and you can also improve your business by venturing in and bringing in more and more buyers.
There are various faculties that describe branding in various sort of ways. It's the ultimate experience that your product or service can provide to your end customer. And that's how a brand is built. It is not built by advertising or marketing or communication or by usage only. It's a combined factor of a few set of experiences that a customer of your product or service undergoes during his or her lifetime to create a brand. So it is not a process which happens overnight, but it is not a process that you have the leeway, being a small and medium entrepreneur, to take 20 years either. So what we'll do is we'll run through a series of question answers with our panelists, where we try and understand what is a brand in the first place. There is a cost of building a brand. But if you reflect and realize what is the cost of not building a brand, you will be pleasantly surprised in whichever sphere of business you are in. So I think a brand is important. Who you want to target when you're building the brand is a matter of choice and selection based on the industry or the service that you are. But at the end of the day, it's good to have a brand vis-a-vis not to have a brand. So I'll start with PK.
A brand is very different. A brand is your child. So when you go to a professional marketing organization and say, I want you to build my brand, they will educate the consumer about your brand. In your advertising and in your communications, you pretend that this brand has honesty, has courage, knows the difference between right and wrong. That is your brand. That is your brand value. Your brand value is something that you can relate to on human terms, exactly like your child. It's the value system of a brand that gives it the value that it has. Why are all of you so loyal to your particular cola? Because in the advertising, something has clicked with you. in the brand building exercise कि ये मेरा brand है, ये मेरे जैसे है, he has the same value system as I do. So you add, you give it values that have been insidiously put into your brain subliminally over a period of time. That is what is brand building. That there is a person inside the brand. If you ever think that a brand is a commodity, if you ever think the brand is an object, you will fail. Because there will be no loyalties, there will be no affinity, there will be no emotional connect. If that emotional connect is missing from the brand, you have no brand. Then it's a commodity.
Here I'd like to ask Shrenik a question. As an entrepreneur or as in any organization, over a period of time there is a certain set of people who want to run their business and grow it. And there are also a bunch of people who would like private equity to enlarge their businesses, to sell off their businesses. So when I'm evaluating an organization or a business, what is the role of brand or how important does it become?
Oh, brand is very critical. If you study Warren Buffett, the way he invests, he'll invest in brand-centric companies because the brand has got tremendous economic value. The brand is actually an anti-search tool because what it does is that it reduces your customer's search process, and that's got tremendous value because then he's not looking for anything else. Jahan pe ye naam dekha, bas naam hi kafi hai. And that has tremendous pricing power, and that has a lot of investment and valuation because when you get pricing power in a business, it drives up your margins, it drives down your working capital investment, and it drives up your return on equity, which is what he looks for. So brand is very, very critical in valuing businesses and making businesses more valuable.
See, it starts with the name. And you guys, किसी का भी नाम लिख दिया, भगवान का नाम लिख दिया, इसका नाम लिख दिया. Is that going to drive your product? Because everybody's got the same name. So when you give your brand or your son or whatever else a name, there is an expectation that you build around it. So it's not casual. It's not according to some numerology. It is also according to phonetics and memorability and a promise.
Right, so coming back to you, Shrenik, as we were talking about how, if I'm evaluating a company, because there would be a certain tenure that the company's been playing a role in, it has its own profits and numbers. So on a valuation platform, how important does brand value become?
The valuations here are driven by a multiple of profit or a future profit. And whenever you see branded companies, you see higher multiples. So for example, if you would have a food company that's not branded, you would say 10 multiple. If it's branded, you see Jubilant Food, some of these, the very, very popular brands, much, much higher multiples. But of course, it's also that at this stage, it's a very well established brand, and now its anti-search is complete. So if you want to order a pizza, Domino's mein.
Correct.
So it's played out fully now, and that's where you see the maximum differential. In early stages, you may not see that differential, and it's, as Prahlad said, it takes time. It takes a substantial period of time for that premium to build. But it's a path that will take you to much higher valuation multiples for sure.
And trust me, anybody who's underwriting a file, that's called underwriting or the credit part of it when you go to borrow money. So whether it's a private institution or a state player is immaterial. They have n number of tools and mechanisms. CIBIL is one very small tool to understand what you're doing with the money, what are your track records, and how honest you are about how you will deploy the funds that you're about to borrow, whether you're over leveraged or not. Secondly, ensure that you do not diversify so far away. Try and be as sticky to your core as possible. For even a small entrepreneur, you don't really need all that hardware in your office. So you can be much more mobile. You can set up offices in multiple locations, and you really did not need to bother about a LAN connection or where your server resides, because most of it is on the cloud. And there is somebody who spoke about accounting. I think that is financial accounting is something that you should be doing and not anybody else. And if you look at the third window, I think a brand is important. You will have n number of examples of why you want to identify or purchase a particular product or services, and that emanates from the sound of the brand, the persona of the brand, what the brand implies. If you are ethical as an individual, it reflects in your organization, it reflects in your products and your services, it reflects on the promises that your products and services are talking about, and it also is fulfilled in the delivery that they do. So trust becomes the single important driver across all three these parameters. Evasing of tax for whatever reasons is not cool at all anymore. Because fundamentally we have n number of people who say that I need 10 crores. But if you're going to show 30 lakhs of profit when you're actually at 3 crores of profit, as an institution I cannot give you 10 crores. Because you're showing me 30 lakhs, so how do you pay back the money that you take from me? So please be honest. There are tough times for everybody, but as financiers we are not sharks. As marketeers we are there to help. As technology experts we are there to streamline and ensure your processes are working. And that is the way how an SME grows. Again, trust being the paramount virtue or value that an individual has to have, which translates into a lot of things that he does. Vijay, is this something that you'd like to share with your fellow SMEs?
Absolutely. One very simple thing you guys should actually do on the website. I actually have a stat which tells me, so on a website you typically have what you are, what features you have of your product, and the pricing typically does not be there, but let's say in our case we do have pricing. The most visited web page actually ahead of some of these pages is actually about us. So people actually want to see the real faces behind who's selling this product. Since we're selling it over the web, or we're not selling it like in human face, they actually want to know who are they buying this product from. So we've actually listed all our entire team, 28 people's team faces, LinkedIn, Twitter profiles, which now basically gives a complete sense of trust that I can catch this bugger somewhere or the other if this person screws up with me on the product. And that's a very simple exercise that I think has helped us a lot and sort of also helps us build a brand not only for the consumer who's going to buy the product from us, but also people who want to eventually join our team.
My parting thought, in this country there's a book also written about Jugaad. Jugaad is about beating the system, whereas a positive way of looking at it is innovation, where we can become part of the system. So the choice also for all the SMEs are very clear. You can keep doing Jugaad, keep hiding things, keep beating the system, keep circumventing it, and hope that nobody catches you, or be entrepreneurs, true to what SME stands for, small and medium enterprises run by entrepreneurs. That when you run behind something, when you're running to save, when you're running to hide, there is a bunch of people always following you. But if you turn around, those people stop and you can walk to them. So honesty, integrity and trust, these are key pillars of any industry, any relationship, whether it's in the family or outside the family.
Just remember that you guys should be really proud to be Mumbaikars in a way, because you belong to a system that actually is represented at its ultimate level by the Dabbawalas. And if you look at the way they operate and their deliveries, they're a Sigma 6. That is what you have to achieve. A Dabbawala, relatively illiterate, he represents the spirit of this city. That is what you all are part of. You're damn lucky.